very popular in the USA, and the Corp Survivor #2. You might also know that the first edition Savoy cocktail book from 1930 has 105 cocktails that call for absinthe. Are you aware of that? Absinthe was on every bar. It was a staple of every bar. Where did it start to go wrong? Well, there was a novel, a French novel published in English called Wormwood, a drama of Paris, Victorian pulp fiction, if you will, that made absinthe look very, very bad. It caused quite a bit of controversy, especially in my country. And then the wine industry realized that it was at a disadvantage to absinthe, because absinthe had become all the rage. And so it had allied itself with the Temperance League that wanted to ban all alcoholic beverages, and they sponsored artwork like this. And this. The original poster of this is fantastic. And even there's an early silent movie that makes for a nice smear campaign against absinthe. The funny thing is there was all this controversy about absinthe, but at the time we had products like cocaine tooth drops. You've heard of Bayer aspirin, have you heard of Bayer heroin? And I love this. One night cough syrup contains alcohol, cannabis, chloroform, and morphine. One night. It's probably your last night. Enjoy. The thing is, this is important because at that time there had never been any such thing as an illicit substance. And there was this movement to ban absinthe. Science was too primitive at the time to either prove or refute the allegations. So, Switzerland banned absinthe after a big controversy in 1910. The USA banned it in 1912. And France passed a ban in 1914. And because probably at least 95% of the world's absinthe came from Switzerland and France, when those two countries banned it, that affected their people for the market. Okay, you guys have had 3 so far. How are those? The same but different? Okay, nice contrast of styles, right? Okay. And then we are going to finish with our final tasting, Le Fée Blanche, a French product, a Blanche absinthe, distilled like the others. Also represented here. How's that? Once again, a little different, isn't it? Absinthe can be as varied as red wine. All recognizable as red wine, but just in the same way that Petit Syrah or Cabernet Franc is distinguishable from Pinot Noir. The myths about absinthe, or I should say the exaggerations, really get started after the ban of absinthe. You see, today, for example, Scotch whiskey. If I take a bottle of neutral alcohol and dilute it with water and add some caramel coloring and some commercial flavoring and call it Scotch whiskey, what happens to me? I get in trouble. Why? Because there's a legal definition that protects Scotch whiskey. Today, there is no legal definition of absinthe. You can put anything in a bottle and call it absinthe. And unfortunately,